Hello everyone and welcome. In this video, I'm going to be talking to you about the iPevo document cameras. I'm going to give you a little preview of what you can expect to see when you get back to your classrooms in the fall. This is your iPevo document camera, and I'm going to go through some of the basic functionality of the camera with you. This is the head of the document camera, and you can see it angles up or it angles down, depending upon whether your subject is in front of the camera or laying on a surface. This is the light on the camera here, and you can turn that light off by a switch on the camera, which I'll show you in a second. And then this right here is the actual camera itself. This little hole towards the top of the trunk of the camera is the microphone. And it's a fairly decent microphone. It's about as good as the webcam on any one of our computers. So it will record your voice pretty darn well when you're standing in front of your interactive whiteboard. Below the microphone is just an indicator telling you whether or not your document camera is on or off. Below that is the switch for the light. Pushing that once turns the light on, and pushing it again turns the light off. Now that light isn't powerful enough to illuminate you standing in front of your document camera when you're in front of your interactive whiteboard. That light is really only good if the subject is sitting on a surface and your camera is looking at that surface. For example, if you were looking at a petri dish, or if you were looking at a book or a worksheet or something like that. It would work fairly well for that kind of a situation. Here, I've placed the subject below the document camera. I can use the zoom to zoom into this subject and make it appear larger on the screen. However, it will pixelate the image pretty badly. And if you want a clearer image, instead of zooming in using the zoom button, I simply recommend that you change the angle of the camera head to bring it closer to your subject. That keeps the image very crisp and looking sharp, just the way you want it for your students. Directly below the zoom toggle are the exposure buttons. The top button, when pressed, will increase the exposure. In other words, it will make your subject lighter. And the bottom button will decrease the exposure, making your subject darker. Directly below the exposure buttons is the focus button. The focus button is the blue button here. And when you press that one time, it will focus the image, whatever the document camera is looking at. If you press and hold this button, it will lock the focus. So if the subject moves, the focus remains the same. Below the focus and autofocus lock button is the power button. If the power button is toggled on, there is green just above the button. If there's black below the button, the power button is off. Now I've shown you what the document camera looks like when it's sitting on the desk, but now let me show you what it looks like when it's sitting in front of the interactive whiteboard. I've moved this table right here in front of an interactive whiteboard, and I'm going to now move the document camera over to that table. Here you can see I moved the document camera from the desk right over to this table directly in front of the interactive whiteboard. Now I'm going to show you what this looks like. This is what the document camera looks like when it's sitting directly in front of the interactive whiteboard. It's facing the board, and there's just a couple of feet on either side of the board where a teacher could stand and be writing on the board itself. And you can see in the image on this monitor exactly what that looks like. On the back of your document camera, you have a little toggle switch that would allow you to toggle between 50 and 60 hertz. You can just leave yours on 60 hertz. Below that is a USB-C port and USB-C cable that will attach to that. This is the only cable that's required for you to connect your document camera to your computer. Below that port is an HDMI port. The USB-C cable that comes out of the back of your document camera will plug into a Cat5 to USB extender. That Cat5 to USB extender is powered and is necessary in order to transmit a USB signal greater than 15 feet. Okay, so the blue cable that you see right here is your Cat5 cable. The electrical brick that you see right here is plugged into an electrical cable, and that electrical cable that you have will be black. It will be all wrapped up in this sheathing right here, and it will run all the way back to your computer. That black sheathing will run from your document camera all the way to the back of your computer, where the Cat5 extender will run into the USB port on the back of your computer. From there, you will have a black extension cable. Now I know mine is orange here, but I don't have the black ones in yet. A black extension cable will then run into a plug that will either be in a power strip or into the wall. Well, that's all there is to it. I wanted to provide you just a little bit of an overview of your document camera and the way it's going to be set up for you in your classroom this fall. I hope this video has been helpful, and boy, I hope you have a great day.